Thousands of people in the US sleep in cars, the streets, or homeless shelters every night, and this is due to homelessness, which is a big problem in the US, but mainly is a problem in the states of California, New York, and Texas. I get to see it in firsthand in California, which is one of the biggest populations of homelessness, and I'm going to be describing what it looks like and how it gets treated in every single one of those three states. Starting off with California, homelessness is mainly brought to California due to the high living costs that we have here. We pay a lot of taxes and rent. That makes rent higher. That makes owning a house more expensive, more costly, which limits the amount of people who can afford to have that. So due to that, along with job loss, minimal job loss in California, mainly high rent, high cost of living out here, which causes homelessness and people to live in the streets. But what California does about it is we have a lot of government help and government funded homeless shelters and fundraisers for them, that it does something. It always does something, but unfortunately it's not enough to completely limit homelessness in California, which is why it is one of the highest in the country. Moving on to Texas. Texas' main reasoning for homelessness is because of job loss, actually. The cost of living may not be as high as California or New York, but the job loss rates are inclining, causing homelessness in Texas. But in Texas, however, they do not have as much government funding going into homelessness like California does. What they have instead is they have more communal fundraisers, such as churches or just clubs giving back to the community and trying to limit homelessness altogether and stuff. And then on the third end would be New York. New York is more similar to California, with another high cost of living and high rent, which again limits the amount of people who are able to afford a nice place to fit their family, thus causing them to go into homelessness. Another thing that all three of these states have in common is mental health. Mental health is a problem within all three of them, which is a big leading factor to homelessness. It's a direct correlation, actually, because of that. Mental health gets you to react to things differently, and it makes you to lead you to ultimately making bad decisions, which can lead to homelessness. But what New York does about it is they are very on top of it. Their government is very on top of it. They have it's a mandatory law there, where if someone asks for housing, they will get in line to receive it because of the high demand of housing there. You know, the population is very grand there, and the space is just not enough. However, the government there has provided a lot of shelters and a lot of food shelters and like vacay shelters for the homeless to stay there. So wrapping up all three of these, we learned that the number one and number two cause of homelessness is high cost of living and job loss. And number three would be mental health. And with all those combined together, they just all work differently. They all happen to work the same. It just expands the amount of homelessness across America. But there are ways to fix it, or to help fix it, which include government funding or just local participation, such as your church, a club, or anything like that. Everyone deserves to have a safe place to stay, which is why the government and these clubs and these churches are doing these actions, which I think is a great thing. Thank you.